Hello, hello, and welcome back. I'm Claire. This is Purple Poppy. And today I'm going to show you letter D. I've decided to join in with the ABC April 2025 challenge by Tony and Seven Plaza, along with lots of other artists. And excuse me, when I watched Tony's video for A, she was making a journal. And I thought, I've already got this cover. You may remember a few weeks ago we did this cover together. So I decided to follow her and make it into a journal. And you can see there's A. A was the cover. There's B. There's C. And today we are working on D. And in the prompts list for D, we've got distress, digitals, decoupage, die cuts, dangles. So lots of things to think about. Now, I've brought along this little bunch, along with some Tim Holtz. I've got the walnut stain and ground espresso oxides. I've also got my watercolour pencils. Excuse me. Now, I'm going to slide them over a bit because obviously I need some space to work. Now, first of all, we need to obviously cover this page. Now, I've got this coffee dyed paper which matches that side. So I'm thinking I'm probably going to go for strips so we can get it down quite rough and ready, as it were. I'm going to use my glue stick. Now, I've got to be careful because I've got a new phone. And for some reason, it cuts off at 35 minutes. So we can't record for more than 35 minutes. So if I suddenly disappear, that probably explains why, in that I've misjudged the timing and it's run away with me. And then we're going to go up there. So we're going for grungy, distressed, aged, all those kinds of things today. Are you joining in with this? Or are you busy doing other things? I mean, as you may or may not know, I am doing the 100-day project. So I've already got, stuff going on. But I thought, why not? Keeps you busy, doesn't it? Keeps you busy, keeps you out of trouble, all those things. Right. So we've overlapped there, and I want another little one to come up there. Excuse me, I really should be drinking the coffee that's next to me rather than looking at it. Okay, so this is going to be very much a art journal, this one, a grungy journal, whatever, because there's lots of stuff going on in this one, but it suits me because at the moment I'm very into the mixed media mood, as it were. Okay, so this is a page that we're working on. We've got a nice bit of background there. I feel like I should have some dictionary page or something. Well, I've got this directory, that might work. So I want to now come up. So I have this one coming across maybe there. Just adding texture and interest to our background. That's all we're really doing at the moment. So we get that one across all levels there, and then we'll get that same sort of triangular shape to come across there. There we go. Okay. And now we can start to add some colour, add some gesso. So I'm going to start very simply by taking the walnut stain, because it's the lighter of the two. I'm going to get my brush in there and I'm just going to rub across my page, just basically adding colour. Okay, and because it's the Oxide, I'm going to be able to drip some water in there, and that'll, you know, make it do its magic. Okay, now I'm going to go in with the espresso. Much darker. And of course we've already got the coffee staining on that paper underneath. Okay, nice and grungy. And then if I get the splashes going on, we can get that oxidization going on. Doesn't matter this going over here, it's only water, it will dry. Okay, you can see those spots that are really starting to work for us now. Just trying to dry my hands off on my trousers. Very, very prim and proper, that is, Claire. Now, I've made myself a little stencil. I didn't have a leafy stencil that suited my need, so I've made one. All I simply did was draw some weird circly leafy type shapes and a line down the middle. And that's given me a stencil, so I'm going to be using that. I've also got some die cuts. I've got some of these, I don't know, we call them wet the beds, but I think they're called dandelions, aren't they? And then I've got some Tim Holtz in the coffee dyed paper, and also in the brown card. Still got some bits in there, need to pick those bits out. So we've got those going on. Excuse me. I've also got some letters, but I'm not sure if I'll use them because they're in blue and I don't really want the blue. But from my watercolours, I want the grey to go with that, and I'm going to want a dark brown. Have I got a dark brown? That's about the darkest brown that I've got. So we can close that up. Okay, you can see now those spots are starting to work for us. I'm going to use this bit of acetate just as a bit of a palette, really. Excuse me. So I'm going to need a paintbrush, and also I want an image. So if I dig into my collection for my 100-day projects where I'm doing all the faces, I can hopefully find a distressed grungy photo. Look at these. See, I want something like this but bigger. So what have I got? Oh, that would work. One of the Kleeback Creations ones. That one, I think, is the one that I want. So I'm going to pull that out. We're basically going to bury her in the woods. That's my idea. Oh, it sounds like I'm killing people, doesn't it? I don't mean it like that. So, no, wrong ruler, Claire. I'm going to take my tear ruler and give myself a nice deckled edge. Like so. Get rid of those. Okay. And she can probably sort of bury in there, but we do want to get a little bit of ink on her. So now I wouldn't normally use Oxide as, you know, a distresser, but because we've got this water going on and it's all going to get a bit grungy, it will help potentially run for us, and that's what we want. So she's going to sit about there. In fact, I don't think there's any about it, is there? Let's just stick her down, and we've got a place to work from. You see there was an original misprint on the back. So we're going to pop her down about there, like so. Okay, now let's get this homemade, or you know, our own stencil, and I'm going to pop it about there. I'm going to take my grey watercolour pencil and I'm just going to draw in the stencil. Whoops, that's not good, Claire, is it? I've ripped that paper off. It's obviously not properly dry, but I suppose it all adds to the grunginess, does it not? Coming on top of that photo that we've just put down, and then give ourselves the stalk. In this one, and then this is, oops, that's the last one. Okay, so you can see that line. If I now go over it again with my brown, because these are watercolour pencils, we're going to get, yeah, see, that's not good, Claire, is it? We're going to get like a paint line, which is what we want. In an ideal world, I would probably have let this dry for a little while. Yeah, because I'm just scraping off my paper, aren't I? Where it's a bit wet. But the time of videoing doesn't allow us to wait for things to dry necessarily. Okay, so that's my stencil down. If I get a paintbrush and some water, let's just put some water in there. I'm probably even off camera, aren't I? Sort of. Come up there and get some water in there, and then I can feed this paint line. You see, with the water, and it just starts to add even more grunge. feeding even more into the background, which is what I want. You see? Yeah, I really need this to dry. I'm going to put you on pause so I can dry it. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm just going to carry on. So we can have this one. Now, the easiest way I find to do this, and I've told you this many times before, if you've got skin allergies, please don't do this. I don't want to be responsible for you having some kind of problem. Just got a couple of bits I need to poke out. Sometimes when you run these through the big shot, not all the bits come out. There we go. So get some ink on there. And then just sort of put the branchy bit on my hand. And then we're gonna, whoops, pick her up. Come on, stick. What's the matter with you? That's better. Okay. And I've got another one of these dandelions, are we calling them? And then I think we're going to have some of this one here. And this one is just coffee dyed paper, so it's really light and flimsy, so I'm going to have to be really careful with it. But I think we're only using the top two this time, so okay, and that's going to go there. Okay, trim that one off. So she's in the woods, isn't she? And up there feels a lot drier. So I'm going to get my brown pencil and we're going to have some more of this stencil. Could even actually use probably ink tents for this. Ink tent sticks, that would really work, wouldn't it? Just really using it as a guideline. There you go. So now, what if, rather than using the paintbrush, what if I wet my crayon and we do it that way? get it really, really, really wet. There we go. Right, so now I'll bring my paintbrush in. That's really gonna, because we got a lot more on it than we had on it before. Oh yes, I like it. I like it a lot. So we've got a real grungy old page going on. I feel like I need some more of the ground espresso up in that top corner. Just purely so that I can get more oxidization. Yeah, I'm really pleased with that. I think it's all the things that we were asked for. I mean, there's obviously no dangle, but it's definitely distressed and die cuts. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. I can even drag this colour out even further. So that just becomes a little bit fainter. And I could spend hours here. I could get some gesso on here and just really play with it more. But I'm conscious of my camera and I don't want it flicking off midway. I do think that maybe we can, you know, get a bit more colour on her. Okay, just bring that out a bit more. Maybe even across the bottom here. I could do this actually with grey as well. There we go. And just bring that in as well. There we go. Yeah, very, very pleased with her. Even sort of follow the line of our paper there. That would just add another dimension. Yeah, very pleased. So there you go. There's my day D of the ABC April 2025 challenge. I hope you found some joy and inspiration. If you haven't heard it before, go and have a little look. There's loads of people doing this. Maybe even join in. As always, thank you for spending time with me today. I'll see you very soon. Ta-ta for now.